Vince Tomanelli Music and History. Montreal is one of the main economic and cultural centers of Canada. With several colleges and 4 universities, is also high-tech center in the fields of medicine and aerospace industry. The music is not far behind. The Montreal Jazz Festival is one of the biggest in the world and attracts audiences from all over. It is in Montreal that Vince Tomanelli, 51, was born. When he was 6-year-old, Vince was already charmed by music. At that time he used to sing Elvis Presley's hits around the house while his mother took care of the housework. Arriving at adolescence, the artist began to learn his instrument on his own. I was 12 years old. I asked my father to buy me a guitar and I started to practice alone. I started to play the day after Elvis' departure. It was very sad for me, and the guitar was the one that relieved the loss. I never attended guitars classes, he says. At this stage Vince used to practicing his instrument 5 hours per day, and on the weekends he practiced even longer. I would walk around the house with my guitar all the time. At night I would sit on the bed and play the Elvis songs by ear, he adds. At home the musician had full support of his family. His parents always encouraged him to play. When he tried to improve his technique, he looked for a music school. The teacher asked the boy to play some chords and everything he knew. Seeing Vince's performance with the instrument, the teacher asked him to wait a few minutes. After some minutes he entered the classroom and explained that he could not teach him anything that he did not already know. A few minutes later the owner of the school came back and explained what had happened. In addition, he invited Vince to teach at school. The artist believed that all this was a big joke. But it was not a joke. Then he started teaching guitar at that school, where he would remain for 3 years between 1982 and 1984. At first he began teaching 2 students. After a few months he already had a waiting list. At the same time he began to study music reading on his own. In addition, at the request of the students, he had to teach them what was going on the radio in the 80s, as Cyndi Lauper, George Boy, Phil Collins, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Van Halen, Scorpions, Queen, Led Zeppelin, Duran Duran, David Bowie, Prince, Ozzy, and the list only grew. My students were asking me to teach them everything, so that made me become a better guitar player, he says. The artists who inspired him were Elvis Presley, Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin. The artist's first performance was in the auditorium of his school in 1982. We played for free, but it was an amazing sensation, he points out. Vince says he's played with so many musicians that it would be hard to remember their names. The artist usually records only the songs that he likes. If I do not like a song I will never record it, he says. Purple Rain is in his opinion the best of his recordings. Asked about what music means in his life, the artist opens his heart and tells us, "Music is my life, my passion, my dream. I'm in music not for money, but because I love it." To learn more about Vince's work, visit Vince Tomanelli official website. For Zel Florizel. You can find more indie artists' histories on zelflorizel.blogspot.com.